The hunting ship sliced through the dark clouds of the dead planet. Inside, the alien hunters laughed loudly. They were called the Dravik, a race known across the galaxy as apex hunters. They hunted the most dangerous creatures for sport. But this time, their prey was different. It was a human. Humans were a weak species. That was what the galaxy believed. Had small bodies, soft skin, and short lives. The Dravik thought this hunt would be easy, an easy prize, the perfect game. For a lazy hunt, Captain Zur led the hunting party. His sharp teeth glowed in the low red lights of the ship. He looked at his team of 10 hunters, all armed with plasma rifles, stun nets, and tracking drones. He raised his claw. "This is no challenge," Zur said. "One human, alone. On a dead world, this will be fun." The others roared with laughter. The ship landed on the gray soil. With a soft thud, dust clouds rose into the air. The hunters marched out, scanners in hand. The cold wind howled around them. They picked up the human signal easily. It was weak, coming from a broken building half a mile away. Zur smiled. "Let's bring him in alive," he said, "so we can enjoy the game." They moved fast across the open land. The building stood alone, its walls cracked and falling. The roof had collapsed. The signal came from inside. Zur gave a hand sign. 2 hunters moved ahead, rifles up. They entered the building. Silence followed, and a scream. The rest of the hunters rushed forward. They found the 2 hunters dead. One lay on the floor, eyes wide open, throat cut. The other hung upside down from the ceiling, tied with a thin wire. A single word was scratched on his armor. Run ZHOR felt a cold stab of fear in his chest. He was a hunter. He would not back down. He turned to his team. "The human knows we are here," he said. "He's playing tricks. Stay sharp." They moved deeper into the building. The scanners blinked and went dead. The tracking drones froze midair and fell to the ground. The hunters looked around, confused. Then another scream. A hunter disappeared around the corner. The team followed, but all they found was his helmet on the ground. Blood smeared across the floor. Zur cursed under his breath, opened his Cums. "Team report." No answer. He tried again. Nothing. Zur clenched his jaw. He felt something behind him. "Hallway," another hunter gasped. He was looking at his arm bleeding. A thin cut like a knife slash, but no one had touched him. They backed into a circle, weapons up. They heard footsteps, slow, soft, circling them. They turned in every direction, but they saw nothing. The footsteps came closer, closer. Then, stopped, silence. ZHOR felt sweat on his skin. He was a Dravik. He had hunted monsters on death worlds. He had fought beasts 10 times his size. But this was different. One hunter screamed. His body lifted off the ground, yanked into the shadows. The sound of bones snapping echoed in the hall. Zur fired his plasma rifle at the shadows. The hallway flashed with light. Smoke filled the air. Nothing. A voice spoke from the dark. "Calm, cold, human, now I hunt you." The hunters panicked. They ran toward the exit, firing in every direction. The hallway twisted, turned, then ended in a wall. The way out was gone. The hunters spun around. They were trapped. Yur's heart pounded. He grabbed his Cum again. "Emergency. Send backup. We need static." Another hunter fell, dragged screaming into a hole in the wall. His cries were cut off. Zur and the last 3 hunters stood back to back. They fired their weapons nonstop. The walls shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then, shadow moved. Fast, too fast. It grabbed one hunter and vanished. Zur couldn't breathe. Another hunter dropped his gun. He ran. His screams echoed as something tackled him in the dark. Zur. And the last hunter stood alone. The hunter shook, eyes wide. "What is he?" the hunter whispered. "Sure," whispered back. "He's death." The last hunter was yanked into the shadows. His scream sharp and short. Zur fired wildly, his heart racing. The rifle clicked empty. He reached for his knife, a whisper in his ear. Boo. Zer spun around and saw the human's eyes in the dark. Cold. Empty. The human smiled. Then, nothing. The Dravik ship waited outside. Sensors showed nothing. No life signs. No movement. After hours, the ship's AI sent a message to the hunting guild. All hunters missing. Mission failed. A week later, the message reached the Dravik. High Council, they sent another team. A bigger one. They never came back. The hunting guild laughed at first. Then they stopped laughing, because a message arrived on the guild's command screen. It was a video. The face of the human, calm, smiling, his words clear. You thought you were the hunters. You were wrong now. I hunt you. The guild leader watched in silence. Behind him, the lights dimmed. The shadows seemed to move. The leader turned around, but there was nothing there, or so he thought. The Dravik hunting guild was silent. 10 of their best hunters had vanished on a dead planet. No bodies were found. Only a message remained, a human face on the screen, smiling with a simple sentence. Now I hunt you, the High Commander of the guild. Varnik was not afraid of ghost stories. He believed in facts. He ordered a new mission. This time, no mistakes. Varnik sent in the Red Fang squad. They were not just hunters. They were killers. Silent, fast, trained in every weapon. They hunted the galaxy's most dangerous beasts. None of them ever failed a mission. Their ship, the Blood Claw, landed on the same planet. The ground cracked under the heavy ship's weight. Dust filled the air. The Red Fang squad moved out, 6 hunters in blood-red armor. They carried plasma rifles, sensor drones, shock blades, and stun grenades. Their leader was Zether, tall, cold. Eyes, voice like steel. Standard hunt pattern, Zether said. We go in silent. Kill on sight, no games. The squad nodded. They moved fast, spreading into pairs. Their scanners searched every inch of the ruins. Thermal sensors, life signs, movement detectors, everything worked perfectly. At first, the first hour passed. Nothing. The squad found the ruins of the first hunting team's camp. Gear scattered. Bloodstains. No bodies. Then they found something else. A hunter's helmet from the first team. It hung from a wire on a broken wall. The visor cracked. A word burned onto it. Praed Zutar stared at the helmet, felt a chill. In his chest, keep moving, he ordered. They split again. Zether moved with his partner. Kor both walked slow, weapons ready. They entered a broken tower, scanning for signs. They saw shadows moving in the distance. Zether zoomed his visor, nothing. Empty air. Kor laughed. He's playing games. Zether didn't smile. They moved forward. A soft sound echoed, metal scraping. Kor turned a hand, grabbed him from above. He screamed as he was pulled upward into the shadows of the broken ceiling. Zether spun, firing his rifle. Plasma blasts tore holes into the walls. Dust fell. Kor, Zether shouted. Silence then. A thud got Korr's body dropped in front of him, neck twisted, eyes wide open. On his armor, a word scratched in deep lines. Bu. Zetar froze. His mind raced. This was no animal. This was a hunter, but it was supposed to be their prey. Zether called the team. Squad report. Nothing again. Report. Attic. Zether's blood turned. Cold. He ran outside. The sky was dark. The wind howled. The cums crackled. Zether. A voice low. Human, calm. You're next. Zether spun around. No one. He ran to the meeting point. 2 hunters were there, Vrax and Keln. They looked at him, faces pale. He took Rin, Vrax said. Just gone, dragged into the ground. Zether nodded. He looked at Keln. Stick together, he said. They stood back to back, rifles up. Footsteps echoed around them. Soft, slow. Coming closer, they aimed. Fired in every direction. Plasma. Bolts cut through the air. Nothing. A shadow moved past Vrax. Vrax screamed. Something sharp pulled him into the darkness. His voice faded into silence. Zethar grabbed Keln. Move. They ran toward the ship. The ground shook. The air grew colder. They reached the landing zone. The ship was gone. Smoke hung in the air. The blood claw was in pieces, burning wreckage scattered across the ground. Zethar stared. Keln dropped to his knees. We're dead, Keln whispered. Zethar pulled him up. Stand. A whisper in the wind. Now I hunt you. Lean's eyes grew wide. A shadow lunged from behind. Zethar turned just in time to see Keln lifted into the air. Keln screamed, firing his rifle wildly. Plasma bolts hit nothing. Then his scream stopped. His body fell to the ground. Zethar stood alone. He backed away, breathing hard. A voice whispered in his ear. Run. He spun around. No one. He ran through the ruins over rocks. Past dead trees, his heart slammed in his chest. He heard footsteps behind him, fast, soft. He fired over his shoulder. Plasma bolts lit the night. Still, think he kept running then. He reached a small cave. He ducked inside, breathing hard. He crouched low, rifle ready. Silence. He waited minutes. Past nothing, he allowed himself to breathe. Then a hand touched his shoulder. Zethar froze. A voice whispered in his ear. Got you, Zethar. Screamed. The Red Fang squad never returned. Varnock, the High Commander, watched the mission logs. The last video showed Zethar's face, eyes wide, mouth open, screaming dot, then static. The hunting guild sat in silence. They all watched the final message. The human's face, calm, smiling. His words sent a chill into every hunter's heart. You sent your best? I took them. Send more if you dare. The screen went dark. The guild leaders stared at each other. For the first time, they felt fear, not of a beast but of a human, because the human wasn't running. He was hunting them. And they didn't know how to stop him. The hunters called him the Ghost. Across the galaxy, his name spread in whispers. The human on the dead planet. The one who hunted the hunters. The one who never showed his face, except when it was too late. The Dravik Hunting Guild was now desperate. 2 teams gone. No survivors. No bodies. Only fear remained. They needed a new plan. They sent the Night Reapers. The Night Reapers were not hunters. They were killers. Silent assassins trained in shadow warfare. They moved without sound. They killed without mercy. No one had ever escaped them. Their leader was Commander Roll. His face was a mask of scars, his eyes cold and dead. He stood before the guild leaders. This human. He dies tonight, Rawl said. No one argued. The Night Reapers landed on the planet at night, 6 of them, all dressed in black armor with cloaking fields. They could become invisible. They carried silent weapons blades, dart guns, and shadow. Mines. They had 1 rule kill before being seen. Rawl stepped into the dark ruins. His visor scanned the area. No movement. No life signs. The team split into pairs, silent as shadows. They moved fast. Cutting through the ruins like ghosts. At first nothing happened. No attacks. No strange messages. They thought the human was gone. Rawl smirked under his helmet. Pathetic, whispered. He moved deeper into the shadows then. The darkness moved. His visor glitched. The light vanished. All around him, total blackness. He tapped his com. Team report. Nothing. He switched to backup sensors. Night vision. The screen blinked. Then went dead. He cursed. The air turned. Cold. The wind stopped. A soft sound echoed dash footsteps. Slow. Soft. Getting closer. He turned. Blade ready. A shadow moved past him too fast to see. He spun around nothing. He opened the come again team. Check in. Static then. A whisper. Your eyes. They can't help you. Rawl's blood turned cold. He grabbed his dart gun. Fired into the dark. Silence. A Reaper's voice shouted in his ear. He's here. The voice cut off. Rawl ran toward. The sound? He found nothing. Only a black helmet. Crushed on the ground, he grabbed his scanner. The scanner showed. Him, not the human. Him. Ra'al stared. The scanner glitched again. The face on the screen, his own. But smiling, he dropped the scanner. Another Reaper screamed. Ra'al ran to the sound. He saw shadows move. His teammate was yanked into the air. A wire. Around his neck, the body dropped, silent and still. A word burned into the armor mean. Ra'al froze. He turned around. The dark behind him seemed alive. He backed away. Another whisper. Now, it's your turn. He fired his gun into the dark. Nothing. His blade flashed out, swung wild. The air was empty. His visor blinked. A shadow appeared on the screen. The human black eyes. Cold smile. Then, static. Ra'al ran. He heard the soft steps behind. Him not running. Walking. Calm, he ran harder. He reached the landing site. No. Ship smoke ash. Wreckage. The Reaper's ship had been destroyed. Ra'al fell to his knees. He heard breathing behind him, slow, calm. He spun around, no one. A soft voice. You feel it now, don't you? Ra'al screamed, and fired every weapon he had. The ruins shook. Fire burned. He ran through the dark, over broken walls, past dead trees. The wind howled. The darkness followed. One by one, his team vanished. He saw a shadow pull his last man into the air, a sharp crack. Silence. Ra'al screamed. He fell to the ground. The human stepped from the shadows. Slow, calm, his eyes empty. Cold. You thought darkness hides you, the human said. But I am the dark. Ra'al tried to stab him. The human moved faster than his eyes could. Follow pain shot through Ra'al's chest. He looked down, a thin blade. Through his armor, the human whispered, Now, you understand. Ra'al's vision went black. The Night Reapers never returned. The guild leaders watched the final message sent from Ra'al's visor, the human's face, calm smiling. One sentence, you sent shadows. I turned them into smoke. Send more. The screen went dark. The guild sat in silence. No one spoke. The fear grew. The human wasn't hiding. He was waiting, and the hunters had no idea
what he really was.
The Dravik hunting guild had ruled the galaxy's dark corners for 1,000 years. They hunted beasts, kings, rebels, and monsters. They never failed, until now. 3 teams gone. No survivors, no trace. Only one face haunted them. The humans. Face, cold eyes, calm smile. The guild's high tower felt different now. The halls were quiet. The hunters whispered Varnica. The high commander slammed his fist on the council table. This ends now, he shouted. The guild leaders looked at him. None of them spoke. He's one man, Varnak growled. We will crush him. They all nodded. But inside, they were afraid. Varnak called his army. 1,000 hunters. The best armored soldiers, war machines, sky bombers. The largest force the guild ever sent. They landed on the dead planet. A fleet of warships filled the sky.
Ow.
The ground shook as the army moved. This time, no mistakes. They set up bases, shields, turrets. Drones flew in every direction. Scanners watched every shadow. Varnak stood in the center, holding a pulse cannon. He looked around. There's hunters in every corner. There is nowhere to hide now, Varnak said. The commanders nodded. Hours passed. Nothing moved. The scanners showed no sign of life. Varnak smiled. Then, a drone feed flashed. One of their ships exploded. Fire filled the sky. The commander stared. It's sabotage, someone shouted. Varna called the fleet. One by one, their ships went dark. Varnik's heart raced. He shouted into his com. Defensive positions, full alert. The hunters moved. But it was already too late. The sky turned red. The ground. Explosions ripped through the camps. Explosions ripped through the camps. Hunters screamed as fire swallowed them. Varnak spun around. A shadow moved in the flames. The human walking. Slowly, calm, Varnock fired. The human vanished. Behind him, more screams. One hunter fell. Then another. The air filled with shadows. The human moved faster than sight. 1,000 hunters died one by one. Not in battle, in fear no one saw how. No one knew when Varnock ran. He fired into the dark. His gun burned in his hands. Nothing stopped. The shadows. He heard a voice in his ear. You came for me. Now I come for you. Varnock spun around. The human stood in front of him. Cold eyes. Calm smile. You can't stop me, the human whispered. Varnock roared and attacked. His blade sliced the air. The human was gone. Behind him, a hand touched his shoulder. Varnock froze. He turned. The last thing he saw was the human's eyes. Then, darkness, the army vanished. No ships returned. No message. The guild tower went. Silent, the leaders gathered in fear. They watched the final message sent by Varnock's body cam. The human stood alone in the burning field. Behind him, smoke, fire, and the wreckage of an army. His words were soft. You brought an army. I sent them home. In pieces, send more. The screen went dark. The guild leaders looked at each other for the first time. They realized this wasn't a hunt. It was a war. And the human wasn't playing. Fear spread in the galaxy. Hunters refused to leave their bases. Ships turned away from the dead. Planet the Dravik Guild's name became a joke. Whispers grew in every dark corner. The human was hunting them, and no one could stop him. The Dravik Hunting Guild was broken. Their best teams, it's gone. Their shadow assassins, gone. Their army, all destroyed by one man. One human. The guild leaders locked themselves inside the fortress. No hunts. No missions. Fear held them tight. But the galaxy kept watching. Other alien empires started asking questions. The Krail warlords sent scouts to the dead planet. They wanted to see this ghost. For themselves, the scouts never came back. The Jern Empire sent drones with hidden cameras. The last video they got showed a hand reaching toward the lens, crushing it. Then static. The Krell Syndicate laughed at the guild. They sent bounty hunters with advanced tech. Stealth suits, teleport gear, atomic blades. None of them returned. Only a single message was sent back. A simple voice recording. Your toys mean nothing. The Krell ships left the sector. The guild begged for help, but no one answered Varnock's. Second, Dern stood before the broken council. We must leave this planet. Leave this sector. Forget the human. But the high lords of the guild shook their heads. If we run, we are nothing. Dern stared at them. You don't understand. We are already nothing. Fear ruled them now. The guild fortress was full of guards, heavy cannons, energy shields, minefields. They thought they were safe. They were wrong that night. The lights flickered. The air turned cold. The fortress gates shut on their own. The coms went silent. Then, laughter soft, human, calm. It echoed in every hall. Guards ran, searching every shadow. One by one, they vanished. No shots. Just silence. Dern grabbed his pulse rifle. He stood with the last group of guards in the control room, shields locked, doors sealed. They waited then. The lights went out. The screens showed only one image, the human's face. He smiled. Knock, knock. The doors exploded. Smoke filled the room. Dern fired wildly. Shadows. Moved guards dropped like flies. Dern saw a figure walking through the smoke.com. Slow, he fired straight at the figure. The shots passed through air. The human stood beside him. Dern's heart stopped. The human whispered, "Boo." Darkness. The guild fortress burned. The hunters inside, it's gone. The galaxy heard the news. No survivors. The guild leaders. A single message was broadcast to every corner of space, the human's face. His words were soft. Run, or I will. Come for you next, the message ended. Fear swept across empires. The great hunting guild of the galaxy, destroyed by one human. The ghost with a calm voice and a deadly smile. But no one knew who he was, or why he hunted, or when. For them, the hunters became the hunted. The galaxy fell silent. But somewhere in the dark, the human watched and waited. The galaxy was afraid. No one spoke the human's name. No one dared. But they all whispered about him, the ghost, the shadow. The death that walked, he destroyed the hunters. He crushed the warlord's scouts. He broke the guild. Now, no one felt safe. The great empires held a secret meeting. It was called the Shadow Council. 5 of the most powerful alien rulers came: the Krail warlord, the Jern emperor, the Krail syndicate leader, the high merchant of the Valari, and the supreme admiral of the Zun armada. They met on a hidden station. Deep in space, no one else was allowed. They sat around a dark table. The Krail warlord slammed his hand on the steel. This human must die. The Jern emperor nodded. He is a threat to all of us. The Krail syndicate leader smiled with sharp teeth. I say, we hunt him together. The Valari merchant spoke softly. Or buy him. The admiral laughed coldly. He won't be bought, the warlord growled. Then we crush him. They made a plan. The 5 powers would send their best. Not hunters, not assassins. Armies. Full fleets. War machines. Titans of battle. They called it Operation Final Hunt. Their plan was simple. Find him, surround him, erase him. They sent 5 fleets to the dead planet. 100,000 soldiers, battle cruisers, bombers, destroyers, the largest force ever. Made for one mission. They would leave nothing standing. They would turn the planet to dust. The fleets arrived. They dropped armies. The sky turned dark with ships. The ground shook with machines. 5 commanders stood together. They looked at the dead planet, silent, empty. They smiled. This ends now, the Krail general said, but the human was already there, watching, waiting. The soldiers moved into the ruins. Scanners checked every shadow, nothing. The commanders laughed, cowered. One said they set charges. They planted bombs. They aimed weapons at the planet's heart. One command, and they would destroy everything. Then lights blinked. The air turned cold. The scanners glitched. The bombs disarmed themselves. The weapons locked up. The ships lost power. The commander shouted, "Reset. Reset." Worked then. The laughter came, soft, calm, human. It echoed in every come. On every ship, in every helmet. You brought an army, the voice said. You brought war, you forgot. I am war. The commanders looked around. Shadows moved between their soldiers. One by one, men dropped. No screams. No shots, just silence. The commanders tried to run. Too late. The humans stepped out of the shadows. One. Manwalking.com. The Zun admiral raised his gun. The human smiled. The admiral froze. He dropped his weapon. Dead before he hit. The ground, the others ran. The human didn't follow. He didn't have to. The shadows did. Hours later, the fleets were gone. Ships drifted, empty. Armies vanished. No bodies. Just silence. The 5 rulers watched the live feed from their hidden station. They saw their armies fall. They saw the human's face on every screen. He spoke softly. You sent the galaxy's strength. I sent it back. In pieces, you forgot. I am the apex. The screens went dark. The rulers sat in silence. They realized they had made a fatal mistake. This wasn't a human. This wasn't a hunter. This was something else. Something worse. The apex of the galaxy's fear. The 5 rulers tried to disappear. They hid in secret bunkers. Deep space fortresses. Unknown worlds. They blocked all signals. They erased all records. They told no one, but it didn't matter. He was coming. They all knew it. The Krail warlord hid. Inside a war moon, guarded by 10,000 soldiers, shields up, cannons ready, no one could enter, or so they thought. One night, the guards stopped moving. The lights turned red. The warlord grabbed his hammer. He stood in his throne room, waiting. The door opened. No sounds. The warlord raised his weapon. The human. Walked in.com, alone. You. The warlord growled. He charged. The human vanished. The warlord fell. A whisper filled his ears. You brought war. I bring the end. Darkness. The war moon exploded. No survivors. The Jern Emperor ran to the ice world of Care, under the planet's core. In a hidden vault, he waited with his royal guards. Steel walls. Sealed air. Sealed air? Nothing got in. Nothing, except him. The guards vanished, one by one. The Emperor heard a knock on the vault door. He shook with fear. Then, the door opened by itself. The human stood there. No weapon. Just eyes. Cold. Empty, please. The Emperor begged. The human said nothing. The lights went out. The Emperor screamed. The ice world cracked in half. Nothing remained. The Krell Syndicate. Leader hid inside a shadow ship. It floated between black holes, invisible, impossible to find. But the human found him. One by one. The crew disappeared. The leader ran to the escape pod. The door slammed shut before he could enter. The human stood there waiting. You can't, the leader whispered. The human smiled. I already did. The ship vanished into a black hole. The human walked away. Untouched. The Valari High Merchant locked herself in a palace ship, hidden behind a dying star, surrounded by mercenaries, drones and traps. She believed money could protect her. The alarms went off. One by one. The mercenaries stopped answering. The lights flickered. The human stepped into her chamber. She begged. She offered him all her treasures, he whispered. You took lives for profit. Now pay the price. The palace ship turned silent. The dying star swallowed it. The human disappeared. The Zun Admiral hid on a dead world. Under the ocean, inside a steel tomb, no entrance, no exit. But the human was already inside. The Admiral sat alone, waiting. He didn't fight. He didn't run. He just asked one question. Why? The human answered, because you thought you ruled death. The tomb cracked open. The sea swallowed. It thought the 5 rulers. Gone, not one survived. The galaxy watched in silent horror. The most powerful, hunted down one by one man. No armies, no war, just death, cold. Silent then. A message appeared in every star system. The human's face. His voice. Fear is the real hunter. You ruled with fear. Now I hunt you all. The galaxy trembled. They understood now. He wasn't chasing revenge. He was delivering a message. Fear was his weapon, and no one could hide. The galaxy fell into silence. The 5 rulers were gone. The hunting guild destroyed. Armies crushed. Fleets vanished by one human. No one knew his name. No one dared to speak of him. But fear lived in every world. Then a signal came, a single message, sent across the galaxy. Every screen, every device. It showed the human's face, calm eyes, cold smile. He spoke softly. I am done hunting. The galaxy held its breath. But I have something that you need to know. You called yourselves hunters, rulers, kings. You ruled with power, with fear, but you never asked why humans never joined your wars. The galaxy listened. You thought humans were weak. You thought we hid on our small planet, too afraid to face the galaxy. He leaned forward. You were wrong. You were never the hunters. You were the prey. The human's eyes turned darker. For centuries, we watched, we waited, we learned. While you fought each other, We studied your fears, your greed, your weakness, he smiled. You never saw us coming. You thought you ruled the stars, but humans ruled the dark. The galaxy froze. Fear is our weapon, patience is our strength. And when we hunt, we do not stop. He leaned closer. You hunted beasts, rebels, monsters. But now, the real hunters have arrived. The message ended. Silence filled the stars, one by one. Ships vanished in deep space. No wreckage. No escape pods. Just gone. Armies disappeared during patrols. Colonies went dark overnight. No signs. No clues. The fear spread. The stories grew. Humans were everywhere. And nowhere. Watching. Waiting. Some said they were ghosts. Some called them demons. But one thing was true. They hunted without mercy, without sound, without end, the galaxy realized. Too late. The dark secret of humanity was simple. They were never peaceful. They were never afraid. They were hunters, the apex predators, the masters of fear. They didn't fight for power. They didn't conquer for greed. They hunted because it was. Their nature, the first to see it, died. The rest could only hope it wouldn't be next. Some tried to hide, some tried to run, some tried to beg. It didn't matter when the human came. It was already over. And somewhere in the dark, he waited. He smiled. The real hunt had just begun.